Good evening. Well, everybody's muted. All right, okay. See you in a bit, guys.
Good evening, PetrolHeads. Welcome back to another round of the Evora Championship. This time we are at Portimao Circuit over in Portugal. For rounds 7 and 8. So let's go over what the team's championships look like at this current point in time, because that's what this championship's all about, duos. So IY Scuderia, which is consisting of Lorenzo Adami and Arthur Gra, are at the top of the table at the minute with 176 points. PetrolHead SimRacing's official division, consisting of Andy Darnell and Samuel Oliveira, is in second place with 144 points. Not far behind them is the GRC team, which is 140 points, so just 4 points away from second in the championship. But there are no medals for second place in this championship. Only the winner gets their share of 500 VRP each towards the end. And if pace doesn't change soon for PetrolHead SimRacing and GRC, it seems that Inspired Yorkshire is just going to run away with the prize money on them. So let's see if they can make any improvements to their pace in Portimao. Right now in qualifying, benchmark time is from Tobias Thierol from Tugas Racing, who hasn't really made appearances yet in this series. In Tugas, the traditional driver lineup is Ricardo and Antonio Costa, but neither of them can make it today apparently, so here's Tobias filling in, and clearly an expert in his class. He's the second ahead of everyone, it appears. He's set a benchmark of 151 So 151.7. That's the fastest lap time on the board today. And a second, please excuse the train. A second and 1/10 behind him is Samuel Oliveira for PHSR in second. So Tobias is clearly in a class of his own. In third is IY's Lorenzo Adami with 152.79, practically 152.8. Soteris Moraitis is in P4, Andy Darnell P5, Fotis Isaglu P6, Rhino Berger P7, and George Ralastat is in P8. And I lied, Ralastat isn't qualified yet. I tricked you. We got 8.5 minutes to go, and things can still shape up pretty differently. Lorenzo Adami has just set his fastest lap. He's in second place now, ahead of Samuel Oliveira. I believe he was the previous second place holder. Soteris Moraitis is green in 2 sectors. And unfortunately, I've heard from Timo Reiter, his internet is performing very bad. His internet is very bad today, for reasons I cannot say, so he is not racing today. We are down to 8 drivers on the grid today, with only 3 complete teams on the grid. Thankfully, they're the top 3, so we still have the time. We still have the battle going on for prize money for the end. Andy Darnell is on P5 at the minute, but he seems to be going on a little bit of a fast lap. He's green in 2 sectors and he's rounding the final corner. Let's see if he can get closer to his teammate's time, or even Paul, potentially. He remains in 5th position. Despite having pole position by quite the margin, Tobias Thierolf is still on the track, running, looking to improve. Some may call it overkill. Tobias Thierolf calls it looking for perfection. The next car off of Tobias Thierolf is Lorenzo Adami, which is around 7/10ths off of his current pace, so I wouldn't be worrying too much if I was Tobias. Maybe I'm just warming up, getting into the right mindset for the race. And something I've just noticed, Arthur Gra hasn't joined back yet. Lorenzo Adami seems to be on his own. This is going to be a prime opportunity for other teams to catch up, like GRC and PHSR's division. Oh, it looks like he's got a little bit of pace on him. Andy Darnell has set a purple first sector and a green second sector by almost just 2/10 off. He might be able to contest something very big here. And he does not. He messes up with the final sector, unfortunately, but he has got pace in the first 2 sectors, he's proved. So maybe from the 3rd row he can make some really good progress if he gets the right start. So to reiterate, there are no required pit stops, no mandatory pit stops. It's just a test of skill and driving perseverance, I believe. Between 3 full teams and 3 other half teams that turned up. So that's it then, there's your top 3. It's Tobias Thierolf on pole with a 1 minute 51.39, Lorenzo Adami in P2, around 7.5 tenths off the pace, and then Sotiris Moraitis comes on in a last minute 3rd position, pushing Samuel Oliveira down to 4th. 5th is Andy Darnell, 6th Lotus Evora, Rhino Berger's in 7th, and George Rallistas is in 8th position. Now a 5-minute intermission, I believe. Oh, no intermission. We're going directly to race 1. People are lining up on the grid. And it's up to the drivers now to finish where they've started or improve. Adami is down a teammate for Inspired Yorkshire, and now he's going to have to fend off and hope he has good to finish ahead of him, with Tobias Thierolf taking first, I'd imagine. He has to defend from the ocean of teams that want to take the lead of this championship back for the prize money of 500 VRP for each teammate. Of the winning team, there's lights ahead of the drivers. Tobias Thierolf in front on one side, Lorenzo Adami on the other. Lights out and let's go for 15 minutes here at Portimao. 4 wide going down into the start-finish straight. Lorenzo Adami is making it down on the inside, but he backs out in hopes of trying to evade carnage with Tobias Thierolf. Sotiris Moraitis is sitting in 3rd position right now. He's waiting for a move to happen. He's waiting for Lorenzo Adami to make a mistake. Samuel Oliveira is in 4th position and Andy Darnell's in 5th, the second away. Lotus Evora and and George Rollistas and Rhino Berger are in their own train in the midfield. Those 4 cars, the top 4, are pulling away. And that's Samuel Oliveira down the inside of Soteris Moraitis. Sorry, I've blundered English again. Tried to make the move happen, but he couldn't. He's going to have to try again another time. He's got a whole race ahead of him, Samuel Oliveira. This is a dream start for Soteris Moraitis. He's got the leeway to catch up on points on Inspired Yorkshire. Now he just needs to hold his position from Samuel Oliveira, and that might be the move that takes him. Soteris Moraitis is now down in 4th, might be down into 5th in a second. Andy Darnell's trying it on the inside, he's trying to get the line, he gets the grip, but he pulls out. It's going to be a slipstreaming move for 4th position. Andy Darnell's making a charge up the hill down to the start-finish straight. Excuse the phone, I'll put that on me actually. Andy Darnell's going to be slipstreaming now. He's going to pull down to the inside. He thinks about it but pulls out of it. He doesn't want to cause any carnage. Too wide at this turn at full racing speed. It is a death sentence. And I'm glad the drivers realise that. Just want to keep this as clean as we can. Well, it's lap 2 and Tobias Theorov is starting to pull away in front from Lorenzo Adami. He's 2 seconds off. He's 2 seconds ahead of the next car, and Lorenzo Adami is pulling away from Samuel Oliveira. He's built up a second's worth of a gap, and Samuel has built up a second's worth of gap to Soteris Moraitis. Moraitis is under threat from Andy Darnell. They're side by side. Moraitis is on the inside line protecting his position. Nowhere for Andy to go. He has to start pulling back for now. Following him through that second sector, trying to get any slipstream and increase speed he can. Looks like the better exit here. Just nowhere. He's definitely got pace on Soteris, but he's just has nowhere to go. Soteris is on the inside and maintains his position. Or maybe not. It's Andy Darnell. He's on the inside of the next corner. And Soteris can't defend forever. They're side by side going into the last turn, and Andy looks like he's got it done now. Yeah, Soteris is definitely dropping back, but he's going to get the slipstream going across the straight. They're too wide. Soteris is racing hard, but he's definitely going to have to race until the right opportunity to overtake again. There's his teammate Fotis Isaglu behind him. This is good points for PHSR. They need the extra points to get past GRC and get past Inspired Yorkshire. They need all the help they can get and all the points they can capitalise off of Adami missing his teammate. The teammates are 3/10 apart, almost half a second apart. They're maintaining within half a second of a gap. They might be racing in a second, going to the end of the second sector. Fotis has the upper hand at the minute, but Soteris wants to get back. Another teammate who's within half a second of their the teammate is Andy Darnell. He's within half a second of Samuel Oliveira. Looks like he got the exit speed going down. Stupid train. Start-finish straight is going to be a slipstreaming move, possibly. Building up the speed. Andy keeps it cool. He's going to wait for the next opportunity. Rosie, he's got the better traction going into the first series of corners into the sweeping right-hander. He's right on Samuel's bumper now. Let's see what he can do with this kind of momentum. Going into the hairpin on the left. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer. It's getting closer. A little bit of wheel spin there, going too wide into the next corner. Very expertly done move. Into P3 for Andy Darnell, overtaking Samuel Oliveira, his teammate. Won't change much for the team standings, but now maybe because he's past Samuel, he can start catching Lorenzo Adami here at this round at Portimao. This will be very important for his division. Because Lorenzo is in a rare spot at the minute. He's down a teammate and he's... Oh, that's the 64 car, that's a GRC car. It's Soteris Moraitis. Back to 7th he goes. Massive blunder for GRC there. Very unfortunate. But they were too wide for a second. That's... oh, I thought that was Lorenzo, but that was George Ralistas and P80 went off as well. And it looks like I've missed the overtake between Samuel Oliveira getting the pass and Andy Darnell. They were side by side going into the last sector, so it's good to see the teammates fighting, but hopefully they keep it relatively civil because they need to keep it like this for the championship. But if Andy thinks he's faster, and if he can catch Lorenzo Adami if he's not being held up, he's going to have to get past Samuel Oliveira at one point or another. It would make no difference to the team's championship. Andy taking the wide line there. Hoping to get a little bit of extra speed from Samuel Oliveira. Oliveira has gone slightly wide there. He has lots of bit of traction. Andy is side by side going into the left-hander of the next sector. And with it, the inside of the next corner. Expertly done by Andy Darnell into P3. Now he's got to make 5 seconds to Lorenzo Adami. And they've repassed each other, Samuel Oliveira. Very good battle between teammates here tonight. Five and a half minutes to go, lap 6. And they're still at it. Look at them go. They're hardly half a second apart. But if they keep tripping each other up like this, Lotus Evora is going to start catching up. He's already gotten thus far. He's a second behind Andy and rapidly decreasing. He needs to make this move done and keep it done if he doesn't want to start losing time to the other teams. Lotus is making great progress here from 1 second to 6 and 6.8 tenths. Practically 7 tenths away from Andy at this point. He's making good time on him. Bit by bit, he's now within half a second. could this be a good salvage for GRC in the coming 4 minutes to come? Lotus is chasing valiantly. For Samuel Oliveira, the mistakes are starting to creep in. He's starting to go wide everywhere. Andy Darnell's going to start tripping up over him, where Lotus is going to get the advantage. And a possible podium finish out of this, if everything goes the way he wants it to. It's a 3-car train going down the start-finish straight, fighting for the last podium position. To the left side, to the right side. He stays behind, he doesn't want to cause any carnage. Andy and Samuel have been tussling for the last podium place for a few laps now, and it's because they've been tripping over each other that Lotus Evora has caught back up. And look at that, they're side by side. Andy has to defend now from Lotus Evora. Going into the hairpin. Lotus might have the traction. Samuel's gone wide as well. The falters are starting to creep in. And they're side by side going into the second sector. Lotus on the outside. And Samuel Oliveira's got the better exit speed, so he keeps his position. But Lotus is on the verge of something good, and that is a car standing still towards the end of the first sector. That's Sterling Iceman in P9. He's gone absolutely stationary. Drivers beware. A little bit of a wide line there for Samuel Oliveira. He's definitely under pressure from Lotus Evora, as any little mistake will lose him the position and lose him the points he needs to take points in this championship. Bumper to bumper, the three of them. Lotus has a look, but he turns in a little bit too early. Loses a small bit of track time on Samuel Oliveira. But this is very close, and with 60 seconds to go, they don't have much longer to get this decided. The three cars have been tripping each other up very much, and Salters Moraitis has started to catch up in P6. To the point where if any of the PHSR drivers start to make mistakes and go off the circuit, Salters is he'll be able to capitalize on anything now. He's that close. Oh, 17 seconds to go. This is going to be the last lap of the race. And it looks like Andy Darnell, if everything stays this way, he's going to be the last podium, in the last podium spot. But Samuel Oliveira is starting to get a bit squirrely in this last sector. And Lotus Evora is right on his bumper. George Ralastas is extending the gap between him and the leader. 36 seconds. Going to the last corner. And very well done to Andy Darnell, who was finished in the last podium spot. And Lorenzo Adami in P2, and Tobias Theroff wins the first round here in Portimao. Round 7 in total. But the first here today. We're going to have a second round here. And the fastest... very sorry. The fastest lap here is... oh, please excuse me. Fastest lap has been a 151.8 from the leader, and the fastest lap from Lorenzo Adami has been 153. Tobias Theoff is pulling off those wonder times very, very consistently, so no wonder he's building a 12-second gap to the next car behind. Out of this world. If he had joined sooner, maybe he might have had a shot at winning this prize money. And I hope there's an intermission because my viewing tool just broke. But that was an exciting first stint, and with the reverse grid going on now, I believe it's going to only get even better from here, because now Tobias and the top few drivers is now going to be certainly fighting over... Well, they're going to have to fight from the back now, or from the midfield now, so they're going to have to make a few more passes than they usually would. So this gives other drivers, such as the PHSR crew, sorry, I can't English right now. This gives other crews, such as PHSR and GRC, the ability to start ahead, and if they get good enough starts and defend better than the previous fastest drivers, they might be able to come home with their own points finishes.
Any data, and the score is 3-2. We're about to find...
Please put your microphone on mute. Mr. Deathproof, you're supposed to be on mute on the commentator channel.
Nobody's gonna give away nothing easy.
I'm sorry, DP. Sorry, chat. It was a small little bit of interference there. Underway for the second round, and George Relistas takes point ahead of Fotos Isoglu and Sotoris Moraitis for GRC. Too wide going into turn 1 here, and it's Andy Darnell looking to make a few positions while he can, while Lorenzo Adami is still at the back, and same with Tobias Tirov. He's had a terrible start, he's at the very back. Arno Berger's on the inside there, defending from Lorenzo Adami. It's to no avail. Full wide going into that, and it does not end well. Full wide going into a hairpin is never a good sign. Samuel Oliveira remains unscathed. He's going too wide again, bashing with Lorenzo Adami. He does not want to lose this position. He's in third, and this is going to be a good opportunity to get some good points for the championship. He can get anything. He can take anything he can get on IY at this rate, and he'll do so gladly. Tobias Tirov is starting to make his way up the field. He's in P5 at the minute. Small bit of a collision. Lorenzo Adami and Samuel Oliveira have been bashing door to door all for the whole of the first lap. Here comes Tobias Tirov on the inside of Lorenzo Adami. He has ran out of time to make up positions while Tobias was behind. They're side by side, going onto the main straight, and Tobias drops back, looking to get a bit of that slipstream. And everyone's veering to the side of the track to get the slipstream off of each other. This is incredible. This is too wide going into the second turn, the first turn. George Rallistas, after finishing at the back, has managed to maintain the lead for this. This is the first time he's led a lap, I believe. Samuel Oliveira is in second position, Lorenzo Adami third, Sotiris Moraitis is in fourth, or would have been were it not for Tobias Thierolf overtaking him just then, making short work of the midfield in front of him. He wants his second win for Tugas Racing. Round! That's a GRC car, that's Sotiris Moraitis again. It's a very good sign for the championship. This is most likely to hurt Fotis Isoglu, his teammate. Samuel Oliveira has taken the lead from George Rallistas, and Lorenzo Adami is sure to follow suit as the mistakes start to creep in for the Greek George Rallistas. Meanwhile, the presence of Tobias Thierolf looms over the three drivers left in the podium spots. Tobias is going to have to wait another lap, going on to lap 3 to get past Lorenzo Adami and hopefully Samuel Oliveira, so he can claim the second victory of the day. He was our last heat's winner. Winner of the 15-minute sprint, he now seeks the feature race points as well. Coming back from a troubling midfield start, he's making great time on the front runners. You can see it in the way that he takes those corners. Oh, that's another car around. That's Rhino Berger. Unfortunately, that's another car around. He's back on the track now, but he's surely lost a lot of time. This is not going to be very good. He's 10 seconds off of the next car ahead of him for P8. Adami hasn't just defended from Tobias Thierolf, he's also been gaining on Samuel Oliveira at the same time. We're set for a three-way battle for the win here tonight in the feature race of Lotus Evora Cup. You can notice that Tobias Thierolf is sticking to the inside of the curbs on the last corner. That's his preferred way of getting round, and they're snaking from left to right to try to take advantage of the slipstream. Just that little bit of top speed to try to get the edge. They can take anything they can get to get the positions. Blunders are starting to creep in for Samuel Oliveira. And there's Andy Darnell. He's been cutting through the midfield and he finally got past Rallistas. He's in P4 now, trying to make way on the three cars ahead of him. The train for the top 3 podium slots. He wants to get back up there and rendezvous with his teammate, Samuel Oliveira. He wants to make the most points he can while Arthur Grob is sitting out of the championship. Not as many points are going to be scored for IY. Side by side, door to door, Samuel Oliveira versus Lorenzo Adami. Oliveira makes it out in front, but this might be a blunder for Lorenzo. He almost lost the position to Tobias. He's lost a lot of time over it by tripping over Oliveira. Tobias has been getting ahead and he's starting to get very, very close now, bumper to bumper. They're essentially touching. Going into the start-finish stretch is going to be the final corner. Depending on the traction he gets now, he might be able to make a move to him. Or maybe he might be able to pass the two of them. Samuel's corner exit was suboptimal. He's backing up Lorenzo Adami, and Tobias Theroff is on the inside into turn 1. He takes second place effortlessly. He now sets his sights on first position. Lorenzo wants to keep up urgently, but he's not going to be able to make it happen. Tobias is slipstreaming into the hairpin. What can he do? Samuel was slow on that corner exit. Tobias has gone even closer. He's within 2/10. They're side by side. Going into the right-hander now. Sweeping right-hander up onto the hill. Very easy to lose it there, very easy to spin. You have to have a very fine right foot to control the torque there, or else you'll spin the car very easily. Tobias seems to be able to do that the best out of all the drivers. You can gain a lot of time this way. Lorenzo, despite being passed by Tobias Theroff, he is sticking with him within half a second. He is not outside of slipstreaming range, so if Tobias makes a blunder, I've never seen Tobias Theroff make a blunder before. He's a very experienced driver. But I can assure you, if he does, Lorenzo Adami will be able to capitalize almost immediately. From 3/10 to 2/10 to 1.5. The slipstreaming is real. For Tobias Theroff, they're too wide going into the first corner. Tobias wants to try and make it work, but it just doesn't. There's nowhere for him to go. He's tripped again, and Lorenzo gets in closer, and from third position he's under attack. Lorenzo going wide, losing a little bit of speed on Tobias. And Tobias is side by side with Samuel Oliveira. He's going to get it done. Or maybe he won't. He does. Oh, it's a bad corner exit from Samuel Oliveira. And Lorenzo Adami was close enough to make a move. They bang over it. But here they go. Too wide again, getting into the right-hander. The 48 of Lorenzo Adami is ahead. But maybe Samuel Oliveira might be able to do something about it. He can't. He was that close. But he can't, there's nowhere for him to go. He has to remain in third. He has to go into the counter-attack as soon as he can, or else Lorenzo Adami will get away, and his points and the chance of the prize money is finished. He's going to try it any small gap he can, but he's not going to be able to. He remains 3/10 off of Lorenzo Adami. He's within striking distance of that second place. Tobias is running away meanwhile. He's built up over a second on Lorenzo Adami. No let up here from the Portuguese driver. We have a spin from Moreno Berger again. P9. These are very hard cars to drive. They do not come naturally to most. Lorenzo Adami is swerving from side to side of the track to try and break up that toe that Samuel Oliveira is getting. He's getting time under braking. They're bumper to bumper within 0.2 of a second. They're going through the right-hander of turn 1, 2, and 3. Samuel slowed down just right. It can come down to this corner exit right here. They get more or less the same exit speeds, but Samuel Oliveira is going to get the toe. He might be in striking distance here. He's not. He's not going to make for the move. He's going to have to wait. Samuel is losing more and more time to Lorenzo Adami. It's went from 3 tenths to 5 tenths, to 6 tenths back to 5. Bit by bit he is losing the time he once was gaining on Lorenzo Adami, and now he has to make anything work. Lorenzo is starting to get into a groove without tripping over Samuel, and he's going to get away from him if Samuel doesn't do something. What is he going to do with that toe of his going down to the final turn of the track? Sweeping right-hander, tucking in behind Lorenzo Adami. Half a second behind. Both of them are going wide. That's an invalidated lap time for both of them. They're really trying everything to try to defend from each other. Look at them scrap over it. It's the final podium positions. It's now 6 tenths between Lorenzo Adami and Samuel Oliveira. Samuel's getting desperate. He needs to do something before Lorenzo Adami gets away from him. Second place ahead of Inspired Yorkshire is so close. He needs to take it. Excitement here in Portimao tonight. For the feature race, we've got 10.5 minutes to go, and we've still got a very big battle going on for the top 4 positions right now, from 2nd to 4th at least, because the way I see it, Lorenzo Adami and Samuel Oliveira are tripping each other up every time they come together, and by that way, 5 seconds away is Andy Darnell, Samuel Oliveira's teammate, and because it's another case of people tripping each other up for the top positions, and their teammates coming in to capitalise. So what's it going to be? Samuel Oliveira taking the second place position himself, or he trips each other up and Andy Darnell comes in and capitalises? Anything is possible, and with the amount of door-to-door bashing that's been happening between these two drivers, it's not guaranteed that an unfortunate accident might play out. End quote. Samuel has had a very big and long list of history of being an aggressive driver. He likes to get his elbows out and take what's his, those top positions. Samuel just got a little bit of a bad exit. He was gaining a little bit there on Lorenzo Adami, but he just can't stay close enough. The toe is helping, but he's just losing 10th after 10th, corner after corner. He's starting to slow massively. The chances for second place might be over if he doesn't do something immediately. And Soteris Maitas, with a damaged car, it looks like, or he's getting very squirrely, coming into the second sector. Now within all that time, Tobias Thierolf has only managed to pull 3 seconds on Lorenzo Adami. You know what? Lorenzo Adami is actually maintaining a distance between 3 seconds and 3.5 seconds. I believe he's getting quicker under Tobias Thierolf's line ahead of him. He's studying that line mid-race, and he might be using that to his advantage. I lied, the gap is now 4 seconds, but still, it would have been a cool possibility. 7 minutes to go, and Tobias Theroff is leading ahead of Lorenzo Adami, and they've finally been separated by a race-long duel between himself and Samuel Oliveira. There's now a gap forming of around 3.5 seconds. Andy Darnell is starting to catch up to his teammate in third position from fourth. Bit by bit, Samuel tripping up on Lorenzo definitely helped him a lot, and now he just needs to put everything together to make that move happen. And Samuel Oliveira has made him happen. Lorenzo Adami is pushed as he stops on the track. He's stopped dead in his tracks. He's made a grave mistake, and he's out of the race. Lorenzo Adami is out of the race. He was contending for a second position, and now there's no points whatsoever for Inspired Yorkshire. This can and will change the outcome of the championship. No IY drivers at all finishing the race. This is catastrophic for Inspired Yorkshires and a dream scenario for PHSR division, consisting of Samuel Oliveira and Andy Darnell, the two of them getting very, very good points here tonight. Well, I don't know if Samuel Oliveira hit him. I mean, he was 3.5 seconds back on Lorenzo Adami. I have no idea what happened there. I didn't catch that. Whatever happened to Lorenzo Adami's Lotus, it turned it into a write-off, and he simply couldn't drive it anymore. He had enough, and he pulled over, and he retired from the race. What was shaping out to be a very heroic performance from Lorenzo Adami has now turned into a disaster for the driver. We only have 5 minutes to go to decide which order these drivers are going to be in second and third. Andy has been subtly, he's been subtly getting time, and that is a car. The number 14 of Dirty Lone Iceman going into he's off. He's going to be rejoining the track ahead. He's actually been lapped a few times, but I think he's just been lapped now, but he's going to be rejoining the track ahead of some of the drivers. Manages to get going before he holds up Samuel Oliveira and Andy Darnell, but that could have been a big accident if his brain turned off mid re-entry. Is it me, or is Samuel Oliveira's car, that doesn't look to be driving straight? Looks like it's drifting from side to side across the start-finish stretch. I think that's evidence of a small bit of suspension damage. I don't think he's able to, from the amount of door banging he's done with Lorenzo Adami, he's damaged his car so much he's fighting to keep it straight on the back stretch. Look at him. But that's Dirty Lone Iceman there spinning again, but pay attention to Samuel Oliveira's car. He's wiggling from side to side on the straight. Not very much, but it tells us that something is wrong with the car or his internet connection. One of the two, but this could be very interesting, and this could be the reason Andy Darnell's been gaining lap time on his teammate. He's been gaining for a very big lap time. He's only around half a second off of his teammate now. He might be able to place a bid for second position now of this race. Yeah, look at it. Andy's getting a lot better exit speed, and Samuel Oliveira eventually lets him go. He knows that he has a slower car, and he doesn't want to hold up his teammate. He's not going to fight with him like he did Lorenzo Adami. He's going to let him bast, and hopefully he's going to use the the toe of his teammates to try help him get away and extend his gap from Lotus Evora, because he's getting closer as well. Despite being 10 seconds back, he is actually getting closer to the damaged car. He's starting to pick up a little bit of pace, a little bit of a comeback from GRC. But really do pay attention to that car. I mean, it could be me. People have called me crazy before, but it's just the way that Lotus is handling Samuel Oliveira's car. It seems to be damaged. I mean, suspension-wise, maybe. The nose of the car is clean, totally clean. It's very hard to tell what kind of damage has been done to these cars in the sim. But now this is going to be either the last lap or the second last lap. Yes, we are going to be heading on to the very last lap of the race. This is going to be Samuel Oliveira's last chance to try. If he has a change of heart, he might have us one last stab at second position. He's so hard fought for from Lorenzo Adami, but more or less wherever they finish, this is going to be very good points for PHSR, and very good game of playing catch up for GRC. Because fourth and fifth is comprised of Lotus Evora and Soteris Moraitis. Yeah, Samuel is dropping well back. He's taking it easy because he knows the gap between himself and Lotus Evora. He's definitely cooking under pressure. Well, this race has been very uneventful one for Tobias Tyrolf. And it looks like he's socially maintained a gap of almost 18 seconds, or 17, to the cars behind. So, very well done to the Tugas Racing driver. Although his teammates didn't turn up, he's gotten the maximum points he could today for both sessions. So, rounding the final corner, from Germany, in the number 11 car for Tugas Racing, Tobias Tyrolf is a feature race winner here at Portimao, and brings some good points for Tugas Racing. Soteris is round. George Rallistas is going to be gaining on him really quickly. He's going to have to make a move very quickly. This might be a free position here at the last stages of the race. Andy Darnell comes in a very, very deserving second place. That was a close one for Soteris Moraitis. Very nearly got overtaken by George Rallistas from spinning on the last lap. But he maintains solid midfield points. Fourth and fifth to Lotus Evora and Soteris Moraitis. Very well done. So So there's your race winners and podium finishes. Very well done to everyone who attended today. Very, very, very exciting race here today. I think that was the best Lotus Evora race we've ever had. So from a performance like this and a championship standing like this, one three-way battle for the prize money at the end of the championship, you'd be very crazy not to join us for the next race. I'll check for you right now what next race is actually. Next time we're going to be racing at the last round. It's going to be a last round battle at Laguna Seca. We have a three-way we've got a three-way battle going into the last round for the prize money of going into Laguna Seca. So the championship is still anyone's game. No, I'm unsure. Would anyone... Actually, I'll do a few post-race interviews, if anyone's up to it. Sorry, So hopefully I'll be able to get a few post-race interviews going and we can see what happened between some of these guys. Yeah, but I'm really interested to see what happened to Lorenzo Adami. Oh, alright, so I just got a little bit of information from Lorenzo. His Thrustmaster wheel stopped working mid-race, so he had to pull over. So, very rare hardware issue out of the Thrustmaster wheels, the first I've ever seen of them. Very unfortunate for Lorenzo. That was an excellent battle between him and Samuel Oliveira while it lasted. And then his game crashed apparently, actually. That is very unfortunate for Lorenzo Adami. But if anyone would like... So I suppose anyone who's left of the channel, I'd assume that he'd like to do a post-race interview. Andy Darnell's not going to be saying anything today. But I suppose we'll go over. Yeah, Rhino's not going to do any interviews either, but I'd imagine that. Lotus, would you like to have a little bit of a chat with me for a second regarding the race?
Hi, Michael.
Hey, Lotus. So there was a little bit of a struggle in the midfield today.
Yeah, in the first race I have a good pace. I could have overtaken Samuel and Andy, but I didn't want to make any risk moves and compromise their race. Yeah, but I have a good pace for the first race. Second race, not so good pace. I felt a little behind. I did one silly mistake again in the beginning of the race. I managed to recover well to go again to the midfield. It was a fun and entertainment race for me. I like it.
It's very good that you've enjoyed it. So,
I think that we didn't have any incidents also that is make me very happy. And unfortunately we lost one driver from hardware issue. Adam, it is very sad to lose your race like that.
Yeah, that was P2 for a dummy.
Yeah.
Or worst case scenario, P3.
Yeah, I have lost a race like that while I was in first position, and I can imagine how it feels. It sucks, really.
So, I believe that's everything that I can think of anyway. Is there anything else you'd like to mention to the people at home?
I hope they enjoy the race. I enjoy it. See you on the next one.
Alright, thank you so much for your time, Fotis.
You're welcome, Michael.
Alright, and I believe next up, last but not least, Lotus Evora. If you'd please unmute yourself. Or maybe you don't want to have an interview, that's alright. Yeah, but that's Lotus Evora has just posted a gif of Homer disappearing into the hedge, so I think that's him gone for now. He's disappearing. So I believe on that bombshell we shall end. So thank you so much for everyone who attended the stream. That was an excellent battle for everyone today, especially for Samuel and Lorenzo. It's a very bad shame that it ended in hardware failure for Lorenzo Adami, but he'll come back with a vengeance. And Laguna Seca, you'd be crazy not to forgive me. You'd be crazy not to attend the stream of the last race of this championship. It's a three-way battle for a grand sum of €10 total in prize money between the two drivers in each team that wins of the championship, sorry. So, yeah, be there or else. I'll see you next time.